Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how I live trade, like how I look for a certain setup. So today we have four tickers I'm looking at. Apple right now, I'm just seeing that it's reversing at this key level. It's looked really bullish, but we're getting some kind of strong downtrend here. So keeping an eye on that. Google looks pretty weak at open sideways action. Doesn't really tell me anything too much of direction. Watching the ETFs, these ones also not a lot of direction right now. I mean, we just opened a couple minutes ago, so price sometimes takes a while to show direction. So I really just go through each ticker just to see what's really going on. It's not really that stressful when you're trading live time, because if you are pre-prepared on what you want to trade or what setups you're actually looking for, everything outside of the setup that you want is just noise. So for me, I'm looking really specifically for strong trends, and if there's no strong trends, then of course I won't be entering anything. So right now, of course, what's going on here? Oh, looks like it's pushing all-time highs. This one's don't like these ones. This one's honestly the best one so far. So Apple looks like it's pushing. All right, we are gonna enter market order 18 contracts. I want to see if price pushes higher, like that high of day here. If it does break that, it's like breaking consolidation upward, and so I would enter calls here. But right now it's looking kind of weird. So we got to see, this would, if price continues downward, it would invalidate my trade. So a lot of this is just waiting for price to be where I want it to, rather than trying to enter too early only for me to be stopped out so soon. So really, when I'm trading in live time, it's just about patience. You just have to wait for the setup you want, and then you go through the tickers that you're watching, which one has the best setup, which one's in the area you want, which one has strength, which one looks like it's actually going to push, and then you enter. So then you accept the risk, and you have the plan going forward. Where is your stop loss going to be? Where are you targeting? Are you targeting a certain level, or are you just watching the candles and everything? So in this market right now, we're having weaker days, but then sometimes we get some really strong trend days. A lot of weakness. It looks like it could reverse right here. This is all-time highs right there, so potentially a reversal area. But you never know, honestly, with all these tickers at all-time highs, it can be a little tricky to anticipate what the move is, because there's a lot of different directions price could go, or it could bounce certain areas or retest them, or do some weird fake out and then a drop in price. So all we gotta do is be patient. This one, ETFs were moving really well the last couple weeks, but this week, not so much. You just go through cycles. Certain tickers look better at certain times, and then sometimes stocks are the ones that move much better. You just have to really investigate the bigger picture to see what price is really showing us. There's different cycles. Certain tickers have better periods of time, and then the next period another ticker looks much better. So that's why you have to kind of have a rotation of different stocks to look at, because certain times it's time to shine, and then it looks choppy and ugly after that. So yeah, don't get too attached on a certain ticker. If you made so much money on a certain ticker, and so you're so attached to trading it, it's not always the best, because that's sometimes the ticker where you probably shouldn't look at it in that period of time. All right, so it's looking weird here. All right, we got wicks up there, we got wicks down here. So it just shows me indecisiveness, honestly. Right now, I couldn't tell where it's going. It looks like it could push through though. Based on this most recent candle, we have a longer wick here. So if price comes in this area, the body comes in it, it would pretty much show us a reversal, and then price would likely go downward. So you could get an entry to go lower, but again, it's lower probability just because we're choppy here. So it's really up to you. All these things are, what do you see, how do you interpret it, and are you willing to risk money on this trade? If it's something where you're not as comfortable, then really there's no point entering it. If you're not confident in something, or you're not prepared to trade it, there's really no point forcing anything. It's just gonna end up pretty bad. So it looks like right now we're likely to reverse here, just based on the candlesticks. All right, this one, it's so weak. If you just look at the wicks and everything, weak. We could honestly have a weak day, but you never know. Sometimes it's like weak in the morning and then it goes stronger later on. So you have to just wait. But at a certain point, if it's just weak for a long period of time in the morning, then usually it's going to be weak the whole day. You can kind of tell earlier on like how price is going to be just by looking at how it opens in the day, or like what the bigger picture is. Sometimes the bigger picture is just not it on that day, and so you can kind of know, oh, this is likely not a day that I will trade. All right, so as we kind of like said earlier, price is likely to go bearish here just because a lot of the bodies now are here. You have longer wicks, this is a resistance. So all these things I'm pointing out, you kind of just notice this based on live time. So always like pay attention to the movements when you're live trading, because there's a lot of different clues you can pick up on. And then like knowing these little things of how price likes to move is just patterns. Like everything I see now is stuff I've seen over and over again. I've seen this like all the time. Week after week, you see the same type of price action, and that's how you can anticipate a certain reaction to certain levels. And then that can bring you confidence to know, okay, this is the confluence I was looking for. This is the confirmation that I need for that trade. And then, you know, from then on, that's part of your edge. That's part of your strategy that you put in. All right, so we're getting weakness here, you know, wicks below, you know, it's just weak. It could just chop around this period. Just with this shown already, it's just no direction in this area. So if price stays between this high and honestly this area here, it could just move around this whole day. A lot of times, like if you're not too sure about how to analyze stuff, it's good to speak out loud. You can even talk to yourself as you're seeing stuff, because it just helps when you speak out loud on things you see and notice. And like for me, it just kind of confirms a lot of stuff that, you know, I may have seen previously. We're getting a lot of choppiness. So this is something where I always like to point out to my like Discord members when I teach them how to like trade certain ways and like how to avoid so many losses. Right here we have a pre-market low, so you see here it's like a low right there. But this is why I don't take any breakout trades. I take specific trades, like all my trades are really specific. And so this is why I don't take breakout trades, especially if you're looking for like longer moves. You enter in on a breakout, so you enter here, and then it goes so weak, you could get a big time decay by the time you exit at break even or something, or even exit here. Based on the decay, you could still be red, or it just doesn't have a strong push. There's no proper, you know, there's not a really high probability by entering in breakout trades. Messy stuff. All, you know, I don't lose too many times when I trade because there's a specific way to trade, and if you know how to avoid so many losses, I'm looking for a lot of loss avoidance. So if I can avoid as many losses as possible by entering in really high probability setups and using like my daily strategy, that's what I'm gonna follow repeatedly, because it just makes me more confident as I trade. And then by more confidence, as I'm trading every day, I'm taking certain entries, then on those trades I can leverage much higher because I'm usually really sure it's gonna move really well and like push. All right, so this one, we are at high of day, but okay, let's watch for what happens here. It's really interesting to like really understand. All right, this is not something I want to enter. I'm just not comfortable right here entering on this breakout. But we'll just watch it. A lot of times, if I am not willing to enter a trade, I'll also watch it to see what happens, or I'll mentally note, how is it moving? Is this something that I could take some kind of learning lesson away from to apply it in the future? And then, you know, if it confirms to me a certain move that I pretty much guess, then it kind of, again, adds more confidence that I have a certain edge that I want to follow. So right here, in the past, as a beginner trader, I would have definitely entered here on the breakout of this level just because, oh, it looks strong. The candle is pushing. You enter here for calls, only like immediately a couple seconds later, which you just saw, it drops and it's reversing. This long wick is showing so much bearishness. So these are the type of moves where, you know, I've seen this so many times, so I know not to enter it. So all this stuff is just screen time. You know, I always emphasize, if you want to be successful and really know your edge, you got to have this screen time. You got to kind of interpret what price is showing you. All right. And we're back in this shoppiness again. Like a lot of stuff could happen here. Like we could reverse, you enter here, stop loss up there, and then you let price run. But what happens if you enter here and then it ends up pushing higher, or it just stalls here for a whole hour? You're going to be deep in the red if price just stalls here for a long time. So you just have to be really picky with the type of trades you want to take. And all these movements, like sometimes it is kind of confusing. Like I can understand as a newer trader, or if you're someone who's, you've had experience, but you really paid attention to certain moves, or you've just been trading really different. Looking at this could, kind of be overwhelming or confusing. So I totally get that. It's just the more you look at it, the more comfortable you are with price, and the more comfortable you are with reading it and interpreting what happens, and then kind of mentally noting, okay, I think it's going to go bearish right now. Let's see what happens. And then if that's kind of confirmed to you with price, then allows you to anticipate that reaction next time, see it again and again. One of those times you're confident now to enter in a real trade with real money, or just, paper trade or whatever. And then from then on, you're just building your edge. I'm going to continue, I guess, analyzing all this. I don't really see myself trading anything today just because I don't like the weakness this morning. But I don't know. We could get a trade later. ETFs look weird. Usually, like when you look at the ETFs, that's kind of gives you a base of the strength for the whole market that day, whatever trade you're taking on other tickers. So right now it's pretty weak. So I'll probably not trade, but just watch right now to see what happens. Probably in the next hour or something, I will just get off the charts, just because if I'm not going to trade anything and I'm, already done the analysis in the window that I like, then there's really no point in me being on the charts, because like, what am I to learn if it's not even a period that I would typically be trading in? So it's just saving your time and being efficient with the time you put into trading, because if you're on these charts too long, or you're looking at a period where for a fact you're not even going to trade that time, like I'm not going to trade at 2 p.m. So I know, why would I be on the charts at 2 p.m.? Let me just focus on the opening if that's the only time that I'm going to trade actually. So hope you like these videos. If you do like these type of, commentary, understanding of all this stuff, it's on my Discord. Like that's what I do. I do a lot of live webinars with my Discord members and kind of break it down. Like, how do we understand the overall market conditions? How do we understand all these fake outs and like false entries, and when to enter a trade, what to look for, what confluences, what levels we need to break, what levels or what areas we need to trade. So it's a lot of different layers, but over time you just understand it. So it's all in here. So you just speed it out.